Hello?
Hey,
Hey, what's going on?
not much. How are
Good. I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna email you instead still.
you? Okay.
Yeah, honestly it came down to the wire and it was like really, really, really close. And I'm just gonna tell you, don't feel no ways though, okay?
Okay.
Alright, so congratulations, you're going to Ethiopia.
With my
Yay!
outer shots.
Yay! Oh
Pop the Ella.
my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Jera music. Hagar swagger. Muna. Way Muna, way Muna. Way Muna, way Muna. Yeah, yeah, Tiger Lijna. It's Shekalaji. Bagatami, I try.
When I was younger, I felt like I didn't really know who I was as an Ethiopian, or I didn't understand that identity. And as I got older, so when I was in high school, I began researching things. I began to take an interest in like Ethiopian culture and history. And so I've learned so much, but I feel like I literally don't know anything about the country, because what can you really know just by reading a few books? But I still have a huge part that's missing because I've never been.
My name is Nile. I'm 19. I live in Toronto, Regent Park. Growing up in Regent Park, I don't feel like I'm wanted. I feel like I'm the only Ethiopian coming out from my neighborhood. And if not only that, I'm the only Ethiopian Christian coming out from my neighborhood. Just going to Ethiopia will help me as myself and grow as a person. Because right now I'm going through an identity crisis. I really don't know what an Ethiopian is. I don't know how to be an Ethiopian. I feel like I'm being forced to be an Ethiopian Christian on top of that. When I first stepped in to Ethiopian land, I got to see the family that I never got to see. Uncles, aunts. My mom was here for a couple months, so I got to see her. And then after that, we drove out to my grandpa's house, and I got to see my grandpa for the first time, who was really sick. So it was really a blessing. I got to see when they cut the cow and break it up and then have a big feast for the family. I had some teresega, which was really a bad idea. I had ketfa, I had tips, I had dorowat, and then just sitting down with my family that I never got to meet was just a blessing. We'll be going down for the books.
So my first day in Ethiopia, to be honest, is not really what I expected. I don't know how I thought I'd feel when I get to Ethiopia. I knew I would feel overwhelmed, but I feel very pissed and very sad because I see a lot of poor people, and I see a lot of dirt, I see a lot of garbage, I see a lot of things that are lacking that make what I'm used to in terms of a good society, like it doesn't exist, like simple things like traffic lights or like certain infrastructure, like it's just not there. And just to see my people like that, in that way, in person, really hurts. And I've heard so many beautiful things about other places in Addis and all the nice houses, and Addis is like the diplomatic capital of Africa and all these things, but what I've seen just hurts to see.
Matata.
We were in Hausen, Tigray, or like near there, this place called Abu Nyamata, or that's the church, and we were supposed to climb up the mountain. And it's a really high mountain, it's like 2,500 feet above sea level. So my first, I guess, thought was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Because you're going up and the altitude changes, and I'm not used to that here in Ethiopia, I started to feel really lightheaded, like really lightheaded. And there was a point midway where like I was like, I can't do this, I'm gonna throw up. And then, you know, the guys were helping me out, and I got support from my team, and they were pushing me on, they gave me water, they did what they had to do, and then we kept on going. To go to the top, we had to climb a rope, and we had to climb barefoot, and it was crazy, but we made it to the top, and it's so hard to describe what it felt to be up there, because one, of course, the view was amazing, but it's like you feel like you accomplished such a great thing, but then you realize that people do that every day here. People do it to pray, people do it to show people up the mountain, but I mean the fact that Ethiopians humble themselves and love God and fear God enough and want to worship Him up there in that ancient sacred place that's been there for like 1,500 years, I think, it just like boggles my mind. Like I couldn't even believe it. Gondar's been amazing. We saw the castles, the different castles made by the different emperors. It's been very interesting to learn about the more recent Ethiopian history, like a few hundred years ago. I think this is really an eye-opener to the power that we had in Africa during a time when not many African, like indigenous nations had power. So it really speaks to the pride and the resilience of like Ethiopians and Ethiopian history. So.
First heard I was coming to Blue Nile, you know, I was amazed. I always wanted to see the Nile River. I'm that person that likes to see waterfalls and things like that. So when I arrived to Lake Tana, I got to see 80% of the Nile River, which starts an hour and a half away from Bahadar.
But I think it's crazy that it all fills up during rainy season, because right now it's not even halfway filled. And the water was like white, and the water here is just like soil being taken. It was very beautiful.
First day touching the Lalibela, I always told Hafte I want to catch a chicken. And he actually said, I'll catch you a chicken, don't worry about it. So the day that we're about to leave in the morning, he brought a chicken from his house. And shout out to Hafte, thanks to him, I was able to catch that chicken. Which made me really proud, you know? It made me accomplish one of my goals, to come to Ethiopia.
Yo, say a speech, man.
You know, this was my main goal, to come to Ethiopia to catch a chicken, Dodo Mayas, and I got it, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Midtown 416, shout out Dreams to Reality, you know what I'm saying?
So I'm at my dad's brother's house today, and I'm meeting basically everyone from his side of the family for the first time. So it's very exciting, and it's really nice to be like a part of like a big family, and like to feel like you're connected to everyone. And it really helps with like your Habesha identity if you have Habesha family members. And we were just cutting some gurage cheese. I forgot what you call it in Guragan, yeah. But that was nice just to sit there and to, you know, be a part of like a big group cooking for everybody, and like it's a good feeling. And የጉራጌ ምግብ የኢትዮጵያ ምግብ now I can actually talk to people who belong to these groups and who are part of my family, and I can get first-hand insight on like what it means to be a Gurage, what it means to be an Ethiopian, what it means to be Amara, whatever it is, what it means to be an Ethiopian, and what it means to be an Ethiopian woman, which has been a question I've always wanted to ask, what does it mean for me to be an Ethiopian woman? And so here cooking with them and here spending time with them, I think that's like one step closer to like my answer.
Midtown joined with P2P, and they gave us the opportunity to go to one of the feeding centers, and like we seen and we helped serve the food to the kids, and you see their smile on their faces. You know, since we're foreigners, they already look up to us and stuff like that. So like you just see the smile on their faces just having food on their plate. You know what I'm saying? And a glass of water right beside them. And then this is like the real sense of community, like being around your friends, having food, having water. That's what community is.
A large number of the students have HIV/AIDS or HIV, and I feel like there's a lot of stigmas associated with it, and I feel like it was really good for the kids to be around each other and around a group of people who understand what they're going through and who aren't going to look at them or treat them in a different way. So that was one like really large and important sense of community I felt at one of the schools, and it was just really beautiful to see them all eating together, all talking together, having fun, regardless of what their health concerns or situations were. So that was something that was really beautiful and I really liked.
105.3 Alpha FM, your infotainment station. It's the Hype Data Show on the streets. It's me, Doug, in teaching in the house.
What's up, everybody?
What up, what up, what up? It's Thursday.
Yes,
It's all about you and you only, and we have special guests in the studio. Please introduce yourselves, guys.
We are Midtown
Midtown
416.
416.
Jenny, straight from Toronto.
Straight from Toronto.
Okay.
A question though for you guys. So what's the most, like, when you guys packed up and left Toronto, when you were planning on coming here, what was your parents' reaction like?
Yes.
Did they accept the fact that you guys are going to
On
come
your
to
own,
Ethiopia
yes.
on your own and visit?
No, I think my parents were pretty okay. I think my mom was more accepting of it than my dad at first. But I've never been to Ethiopia, so this is my very first time, and I'm 20. So it was like, for my mom, it's like, okay, you know what? She really wants to go, so she was like really supportive. My dad, I think it's more like he wants me to go with him first. I think it was more of that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like he really knows how much I love the culture and history of Ethiopia and how much I've really wanted to go to Ethiopia. So when I was accepted to the program, I was like, they're like, all right, you know, we'll support her, and they were down.
So like, how is it like growing up there? Anybody?
To be honest, being Ethiopian in Toronto, we are close as a community, but the only thing that's lacking is that a lot of us young people don't know our culture or our history. I mean, we do collaborate, we do work together, but not as much as we would like to be. So the whole notion of Midtown to come here to Ethiopia itself is to reconnect with who it is we are as people, as one union, right? So far we've been learning the language, we've been talking to people, meeting new people. A lot of us did not even know 1 ounce of Amharic, but coming here, we were able to connect with people on the streets, able to ask for water, able to ask for food, so that whole culture change has definitely helped.
Interesting. 8444 is the number 2 text. Let's not forget this hour of the Hype is brought to you by Awash Wine. So let's listen to their commercial and let's listen to a Drake track.
Yeah.
666.
Turn it up.
Things are gonna get easier.
I think my most memorable, or one of my most memorable moments or experiences was going to the first house we went to and hearing the story of the woman who had HIV, and I think her kid had HIV as well because of it was transmitted through her, the mother. and seeing where she lived and what the conditions were like and how much money she had or didn't have and how much she paid rent and stuff. And that was really memorable for me because that was the first time I heard a real Ethiopian story, I think, of like what the reality is for them right now. And as much as the history is like a huge part of me and who I am, and I love it and respect it so much, we have Ethiopia now. What are we gonna do with Ethiopia now and Ethiopians today? So that was like my second slap in the face about what's going on right now, and I'll never forget her story.
Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Someday, yeah, we'll get it together and we'll get it all done. Someday, when your head is much lighter. Someday, yeah, we'll walk in the rain.
I can't believe we're at this point. I don't know still. Oh my god, I wish I could stay here forever. You know, I don't want to leave. I missed everyone, so I can't imagine what it's going to be like being back to being ourselves. I mean, being alone, you know, especially like for me and for some other people who, like, you know, don't have as much family back home. It's like being back in your apartment or your house alone, just you and your mom or whatever, and it's like you're gonna miss cooking in the morning and waking up and fights and singing in the bus and playing with kids and being with your family, you know, so.
What I really miss about Ethiopia, you know, is like waking up to the Midtown family, seeing my family, seeing my mom's side, seeing my dad's side, just them showing love and being around love is something I'm really gonna miss in Ethiopia. I feel like I'm still walking the streets of Ethiopia, waking up to my guest house, seeing all the people that I'm used to seeing, you know? Toronto's where I sleep, but like Ethiopia is my home, it's my roots, it's my culture. That's what made me, that's the history is what made me, you know?
Shout out to Ethiopia.
Always be thankful and never complain for what you don't have. People in Ethiopia, they have flip-flops that are ripped half open and stuff, and they're still thankful, you know? They don't have the flies gear, they don't have the flies clothes, but they're still happy. You know why? Because they realize that possessions don't make you happy. It's your family, it's the love, it's having food in the fridge, it's having shoes on your feet, clothes on your back, a roof over your head. All those things are what make you happy.
So coming back, it feels weird because I feel two different ways. So I feel like I am at home or I'm somewhere familiar, and I do still feel comfortable here, but at the same time, I called another place my home for a month, and it felt more like my home than Toronto or Canada has ever felt, and I've been here my entire life. I think what the pride in whatever I felt before is stronger, but something that I didn't really think about before was actually going back and living there, or actually being, I guess, an Ethiopian. And I guess I came to the realization that our parents left for a better life, and why wouldn't I return once I have that better life? If everyone is there, or at least a good portion is there, and if my heritage is there and my ancestry is there, why wouldn't I want to go back? Or if I have issues, for example, with my children being there, why wouldn't I help build Ethiopia to be a place where I would love for my children to be born and raised? There's a lot of potential in Ethiopia, and there's a lot of beautiful things in Ethiopia, and it's home. Like, so I want to go back home.
Yeah. I said the hip, the hop, the hippin' to the hip hop, and you don't stop. You're rocking to the bang bang boogie and up jumps the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Yeah. And if you really wanna party with me, yeah, so put your hands in the air, let me see. Yeah. I wanna know if you're ready for me. Yeah. So put your hands in the air, let me see. Yeah. So let's party like we party. Cause party is my hobby. I'm looking for a hottie with the soul and the body. I'm hoping that she want me. I wanna make her mommy. She knows I got the money and nobody take her from me. Come on.